Good. 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 Straight in. Good.
Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to go over the 3 key exercises for bulking up. Now I know some of you out there want to put more mass on, get more muscle. That's your aim going into the winter, and into the summer you want to cut and then you look good, you can go on the beach, it'll be fantastic, it'll be beautiful. So there are 3 exercises I would recommend you prioritise if you want to bulk up. The first one is the squat. Now, back in the day when I would lift weights, squatting was my staple exercise. I'd do it every Friday, and I would do normally sets of 5, and I'd do a set of 3, and I'd do a 2 rep set, which is a lot heavier. And in doing this, I put on a lot of mass. Now I know some of you out there, you do a lot more upper body than you do legs because it's your priority to get bigger arms or bigger chest and be able to do more pull-ups and things like this. And what you need to realise is that when you train your legs, because they are bigger muscle groups, they release hormones into your body that encourage muscle growth. So these hormones are things like testosterone and whatnot. And essentially what this does is it enables the rest of your body to grow. So what you'll find, and I found this, is through adding squatting to your workout, what's going to happen is that your other lifts are going to improve. Your bench press, your shoulder press, your dips, all of it, because your hormones are now changing inside your body. That's the first exercise I do. Now I recommend getting someone, if you haven't done it before, you need to get someone who knows what they're doing to show this to you, someone in the gym who works there, because it's quite a technical lift. However, if done correctly, it can really 10x your fitness program. Now the second exercise I recommend you do is deadlifting. Now a lot of people squat and deadlift on the same day. Back in my day when I used to lift weights, I'd see people do that. I think whilst that's okay practice, I also think it's slightly wrong. I think it's better that you squat and deadlift on different days. So you squat when you're training legs, and you deadlift when you're doing back and biceps, or however you do your splits. Deadlifting should always go with your back, really, because deadlifting is primarily a back exercise, even though it does tie in some of the hamstrings. Now the deadlifting, just like the squat, trains huge muscle groups. These big compound moves are going to, again, release hormones into your body, which is going to cause you to grow. Now there are some little hacks I recommend you try doing deadlifting. Now obviously the first one is the deadlift. You want to deadlift with good form, so always get someone to watch you, but more importantly, get someone to film you deadlifting. The second thing I try and work with is to use straps while you're deadlifting. Now a lot of folks out there, they deadlift, but they're limited by their grip strength. Now they try different things, sometimes chalk and even training their grip strength, which is, I think, a good thing to do. However, if you're purely interested in putting on mass, what I recommend you try is putting straps on and strapping yourself to the bar. Now, in doing this, what you're going to find is that you'll lift with good form. You're able to keep a steady cadence to your deadlift, so it's going to go up, down, and you're not going to slip. The bar's not going to slip in your hand, and it's going to be a lot easier to shift bigger weights, which means a bit more training input on you, and more bulk gained. Now the last thing I'm going to recommend is actually not the bench press. And let me just tell you why it's not bench press. Because I think bench press is a little bit of a vanity exercise that doesn't actually elicit the development of massive upper body power. I think the next one that you should do is the dip. And you could do a lot of variations on dips. Now, one variation, for example, is you do weighted dips. You could do dips with a band. But the whole idea is that you're tying in a lot of muscles and you're pushing down, you're exerting a massive force. And through that, you're going to get very strong. Now, back in my day, I used to find, like, when I was doing dips, when I did lots of weighted dips, I'd go and do bench press and it'd be easy. I'd be able to do 100 kilograms for like 12, 13 reps easily, because I would be doing dips. The dips that make my triceps stronger, my lower chest strong, and meant I could hold a bar very easily. So these are 3 things I think you should work on. Now, there are some additional exercises I would also think about doing. So on top of the deadlift, I've made one slight variation to it. And especially if you're struggling with the top end of the move, you can do something that's called a rack pull. What it is the bar is raised slightly higher and you're lifting it from a higher position, so not from the floor. So this allows you to do more weight, but it also really trains your back. And you'll find that you get a very, very strong back as a result. You'll have a ripped back, and it'll be as a result of this. Now, the other additional exercise I would recommend is the wide grip pull-up. And I would do this with good form, not too slow, not too fast. I don't want to see those CrossFit swinging pull-ups, because I feel that doesn't really elicit the muscle movement that you want. However, I just don't want to see the really slow pull-ups that you see some of these bodybuilders doing, because I think you keep it natural as possible, and doing it in that way opens you up to injuries, rear deltoid injuries, all this kind of stuff. The variation to pull-ups that I would do is I'd add weighted pull-up element to it. Now, there's lots of games you can play while you're doing pull-ups. Like, for instance, back in the day, I would go in the gym and I'd say to myself, all right Oz, you're going to do, in this session you're going to do 100 pull-ups, and that's it, no questions. I'm going to do 100 pull-ups, just that, in that session. And I would stay there. I'd start out, I'd be doing sets of 10 pull-ups, I mean sets of 15 pull-ups to begin with, then I'd go down to 10, then go down to 5, then I'd go down to 3. But I'd spend as much time as I needed there to get to 100. And in doing sessions like this, you're going to get very, very strong very, very quickly. Now, the final thing I recommend is a slight diet thing. So now, if you really want to bulk up, once you've done these huge exercises which require testosterone, I recommend that you have cottage cheese with some of your foods. Now, cottage cheese is very good. It contains very good proteins. I think it contains some casein and things like this. But essentially, if you have it with some food, you can double your ability to grow off of one of these workouts. Now, in terms of other resistance training, I think all other resistance training should be built around those few exercises. So those should be your priority for the session, and then you should build in other things like the flies, the bench, even the bench press and the incline bench press should be built around doing things like dips. Now, the very final additional exercise that could be key but isn't is the shoulder press. And this is very important because it not only trains your shoulders but it also trains your core. Your core needs to keep you stable, and you have to move with the bar, which means that it not only trains your pushing ability but also your ability to stay straight in one position. And this transfers to other exercises, for example the squat. And you've seen people, of course, in the Olympics, things like snatches and cleans and overhead squats. But by doing the shoulder press, you build the basics to do these exercises. So this is it in terms of the 3 exercises you need to gain mass. I know I've mentioned a few more, but I think the biggest thing you got to take away from this is this principle, the 80-20 principle, the idea of getting more with less. So in focusing on some of these exercises, you're actually going to get more than if you did a load of bicep curls and flies. And in doing stuff this way, you're going to find the biggest improvement. So I hope that helped. Keep following along, subscribe to my channel for some unreal fun, and see you next time.